Airsoft, the undisputable king of all sports. A team-based ball game where hitting an opponent with a 6mm BB kicks them out of the game. Today, Airsoft technology is so different from what it used to be, and this documentary will lead you through the timeline, explaining all major advancements up to this day. Nowadays, there are airsoft guns that operate so realistically that even military and law enforcement can use them for CUB training. Most of us behind this documentary got into airsoft in the late 90s or early 2000s, and the hobby has changed a lot since then. And then came Action Air, the competitive shooting sport. Action Air uses airsoft guns, mainly gas blowback pistols. Then we also got Speedsoft, the fast-paced, competitive, paintball-like style of airsofting. Airsoft is fascinating because it's so many things at the same time. Gun replicas are simply cool, and this is a legit sport. A recent study even found that one airsoft game can push you past the weekly exercise recommendations for sedentary folks. The hobby of airsoft is all about teamwork, so it is actually a very social sport. You get to hang with a fantastic community and make friends. It's always great to get the Call of Duty and Counter-Strike players off the screen, to move and to socialize. Because of the achieved level of realism, the National Defense Training Association of Finland promotes airsoft replicas as a cost-effective and safe way to simulate two-sided force-on-force combat. The training potential has also been acknowledged in Poland. Beyond local weekly skirmishes, large-scale Milsim events have become a core part of the airsoft scene, blending airsoft, military simulation, and LARP elements. Battle Group 24, a 4-day event with 650 players, held at the former Finnish Defence Forces training area. The gameplay is driven by operations and missions assigned by team leaders throughout the event.
Painaa! Kello 10!
Oikealta 3 pois.
How is airsoft doing today? Paintball is more widely known, but the popularity of paintball has declined from the peak in the early 2000s. Today, the airsoft industry is already larger than the paintball industry. It was estimated that in 2023 the global airsoft guns market was valued around $2 billion USD. The annual growth estimates are 7 or 8%, which projects around 3 to 3.5 billion USD by 2030. The manufacturing heartland for airsoft is Asia. Most global production takes place in mainland China, Taiwan, and Japan. We'll start by looking at the big picture, the technology that defined each of the three eras. Then we will proceed to the detailed timeline, year by year. The major eras of the early history of airsoft are the pre-classic airsoft, classic airsoft, and modern airsoft. The period before 1985 is considered pre-classic.
The ammunition being a plastic BB, usually ranging from about 5mm to 7mm. At this point in time in the model gun community, the main mode of competitions was a quick draw competition.
Because Japanese laws on firearms are extremely strict, there was market for toy guns, toy cap guns, model guns, and ultimately soft air guns. Pre-classic stuff was mostly experimental, small production, non-standard ammo and parts. However, it paved the way for the large-scale Japanese classic airsoft boom. The classic era from 1985 onwards. The first large-scale commercial wave of airsoft, marked by the release of the Battlemaster by Asahi and JAC, the first fully automatic airsoft gun with the bullet valve BV gas system, which became standard at the time. The classic era waned in the 1990s when modern electric guns took over. The modern airsoft era began in 1991 with Tokyo Marui's first AEG, the FAMAS. Because of the Japanese laws of the time, Marui replicas were limited to just 0.7 joules. Back in the day, the performance was quite impressive, but not so much by today's standards. Marui replicas used to be full ABS plastic.
You know, I actually have one right here. This is an OG Tokyo Marui G3, right? This thing is...
Hold it up to the mic. Hold it up to
there
the
you
mic.
go.
No,
my mic. That thing is cranky.
If I wanted to, I could break this in half with my hand.
China joining the World Trade Organization was huge for airsoft. The all China-made replicas made the hobby more affordable. LiPo batteries came to airsoft from the RC world. The powerful batteries pushed the EHC electrical contacts beyond what mechanical trigger contacts could handle, so the need for MOSFETs started spreading. The 2010s saw the high-pressure air or HPA renaissance. Also, gas blowback rifles had existed, but the better designs, like the MWS, really started to spread. 1981, Airsoft Gun Council was formed. The first regulatory foundations for the industry were set. The 6mm BB became the standard. Later, the ASGK became the Japanese regulatory body for airsoft. 1982 to 83, survival games based on soft air guns were discussed in Japanese media. 1985 came with 3 milestones. The already mentioned JAC Battlemaster, designed by Ichiro Nagata. This thing was the first ever full auto airsoft gun powered by Freon gas. Next, the first semi-automatic non-blowback gas pistol, the Beretta M93R, designed by Tanio Kobayashi for MGC. Later in early 1990s, it was Kobayashi who designed the mechanism for nearly all GBB pistols by Tokyo Marui.
The MGC M93R non-blowback gas pistol. Now this thing is a classic. If you don't know much about MGC, they were very well known many years ago. They were one of the first companies to ever make a gas blowback pistol, and their Glock line were seriously impressive. One of the closest when it comes to that.
The third issue in 1985, Tokyo Marui entered the airsoft market with the spring-cocking Luger. It became a hit by making affordable replicas widely accessible.
And as far as power, it's pretty dang weak. You can see it just barely dings this can. Absolutely no hop up at all because I don't think it was invented yet.
1986, Tokyo Marui with S&W M59. This is the first gas blowback pistol. However, the blowback function was only cosmetic. It didn't chamber a BB. Another gem from 1986, the Jatimatic by Western Arms, the first hybrid design using electricity, an AA battery to cycle the action, and gas to fire the BB. The Jatimatic is a Finnish submachine gun developed in the late 70s and early 80s. Stallone rocked it in Cobra. The Arnie's Airsoft website used to host an Excel file listing early airsoft replicas going all the way back to 1979. The site was a real treasure trove for airsoft history. Unfortunately, the site is no longer online. The emergence of certain companies and brands is worth mention. KWA 1988, Taiwanese brand, a pioneer with gas blowback replicas. In the 2000s they made the NS2 blowback system. Later, when AEGs with simulated recoil started appearing, KWA came with the kinetic feedback system, KFS. Systema Engineering 1990. Before Airsoft, they made, among others, components for the aerospace industry. In the 90s, the best upgrade parts for Tokyo Marui AEGs were by Systema, the Ferrari of Airsoft.
We're seeing more and more here at SHOT.
It's made of the same metal, same material that the real M4 is made of.
I heard about this gun from a friend of mine who's in law enforcement who uses it in training, and he goes, it's great. Partly because those little white pellets in there are dirt cheap.
In April 1991, Tokyo Marui changed the game with the first electric-powered airsoft rifle, the standard assault rifle of the French Army, FAMAS. The gearbox concept was introduced and it remains the foundation of AEGs even today. Marui had already experience with small motors in RC cars, and they applied this electric motor tech to AEGs. About 20 years ago, FAMAS replicas were everywhere, and now they are a rare sight. AEGs use different gearbox types shaped to fit various models. The genius innovation was standardizing the gearbox. It makes parts easily interchangeable and aftermarket friendly across many different replicas. 1991 continues. Marui and the HI-CAPA magazine, carrying 300 BBs. The tracer unit, also by Marui. It makes fluorescent BBs glow. Today most tracers look like suppressors, but some are built into the chamber. Nowadays there are even shotgun tracer units. Yep, they'll light up multiple BBs at once, and the footage through a scope cam looks ridiculously nice. And recently, Acetech has even made a tracer grenade launcher, the Volcano. It's nowadays common for tracers to have a flash feature to simulate the muzzle flash. The situation was different when batteries weren't that compact. In 2014, the MFG Venom by Incentive Designs was a muzzle flash simulator, but it needed an external power source. The nicest of new tracer flash units even have a smoke machine inside, like the Smokey Wolf by Martina that came in 2023. And recently at IWA 2025, Eshooter showed their Smokey tracer, also working with the smoke machine. Remember how smoke was simulated around 20 years ago? The PFI Smoke Cap was a dummy silencer from which some grey dust flew out with each shot. Japan's economic bubble burst in 1992, triggering a recession. Many companies making expensive gas guns shut down, like the MGC in 1994. Marui survived as the AEG concept was cheaper, keeping them in game. 1993, the first airsoft minigun by Asahi. Hop-up is Tokyo Marui's marketing term for the concept of a protruding rubber inside the barrel, giving the BB a backspin, counteracting gravity, and even the earliest hops more than doubled the shooting distance. There were experiments with similar technology before 1993, but it was Marui that made it better and spread it. In the 2000s came with the hop-up revolution, the flat buckings, R-hop and later the TDC, all increasing the lift of heavier BBs. Maple Leaf from Taiwan came around year 2012 and it remains in 2025 as one of the best brands making hop-ups. JAC came with the AR-15a2 in year 1993. So far, the bullet valve system was the main platform for gas rifles. However, this was the first holding gas inside the magazine, which is the established way of operation in modern GBBRs. Also, this had a system chambering a new BB with the blowback. Cybergun, also 1993. A French business which was in 1993 known as Airsoft Guns, but in 1999 renamed as Cybergun. Cybergun started with systematically licensing real firearm trademarks for airsoft. 1995 precocking and the split gearbox, both by Tokyo Marui. PSC-1, the AEG sniper, first had the precocking function. The piston held in charge to reduce firing delay. Today, such is done with computerized MOSFETs. The PSC-1 also had the split gearbox. Split design helps disassembly. ICS, also in 1995. A Taiwanese company making toys already in 1980s.
Airsoft is a sport poised to grow in the coming years, and ICS, the first company in Taiwan to mass-produce realistic, sophisticated replica airsoft guns, will grow right along with it.
ICS was even presented on the Discovery Channel in 2015 when their factory was presented to the audience.
There are several specialized components in an airsoft gun that require expert engineering, such as the gearbox. These complex replica guns come together via computer engineering work undertaken by an R&D team from multiple industries. The muzzle velocity is also tested according to the requirements of different countries.
ICS had a 2002 patent for their split gearbox for M4s, and they developed their own electric blowback system for AEGs. 1996 and 7. A microchip allowing burst fire in an AEG, again by Tokyo Marui. First in their SIG SG 550 and 551 series. The original series was discontinued due to chip malfunctions. 1998 shotguns firing 3 BBs, again first by Tokyo Marui with their SPAS 12. The SPAS is famous from movies from The Terminator to Jurassic Park and video games from Half-Life to the Far Cry series. Spring-powered, firing 3 BBs per pump, shell-style magazines, and back then an impressive 0.8 joule power. Marui redefined the shotgun scheme again with the AA-12, the first electric full-auto shotgun released in 2016. The 2020s has been the era of super shotguns, when in 2021 came the up to 10 BBs per shot shotguns. And ultimately, in 2023, Marui released the gas-driven semi-auto Saiga shotgun. Finally, the 2025 HPA-powered TTI Gen-12, which was featured in John Wick 4. ASG 1998. Danish company, action sport games, born in 1998, starting with distributing airsoft equipment in Europe and then acquiring licenses with firms like Armalite. Today they produce stuff from high-quality BBs to airsoft replicas. 2014 was a major milestone with their CC Evo SMG replica.
And the Evo was the first AEG to be mass-produced outside of Asia. So all the parts and the assembling is done at our HQ in Denmark.
It's the year 1999 and the airsoft industry keeps growing. Yigfang Industrial, a Hong Kong-based die-casting company, founded Classic Army in 1999. In the early 2000s, at least in the Nordic countries, the AEG market was a duopoly of primarily Tokyo Marui and secondarily Classic Army. Classic Army was not bound to tight Japanese muzzle energy laws, and their replicas shot hotter. The replicas were also full metal, but nearly all airsoft metal at the time was hot metal. Miniguns used to be rare in airsoft, extremely expensive custom items. In 2008, Classic Army mass-produced the M134 6-barrel rotatory minigun, and the mass production brought this previously rare replica to the markets.
The last step, and one of the most crucial ones, is testing and quality control. Every gun has to pass this section in order to be shipped to the US and sold to you.
1999 came the airsoft division of Umarex. Originally, Umarex was founded already in 1972 in Germany, but they entered the airsoft market in 1999. To work around the tight laws on evil 6mm airsoft guns, Umarex introduced a 5.5mm caliber in their spring-operated replicas, like the Walther P99, since a 5.5mm gun couldn't fire a 6mm BB. 2003, some age restrictions on look-alike rifle replicas were dropped. These changes marked the beginning of a much bigger airsoft market in Germany. Nowadays also Umarex is famous for licensing real firearm trademarks like Glock and Heckler & Koch. They don't manufacture airsoft guns themselves but work with partners like BFC and KWA in production. In the airsoft world, everybody knows that Umarex products are synonymous with high quality. 1999 to 2000, the Pegasus system for revolvers by Tanaka. No need for just shells anymore. Tanaka redesigned airsoft revolvers. Now the gas tank and BBs are in the cylinder. No need for separate shells. In the late 2010s came the even improved Pegasus 2 system. 2000, Syma. They started with affordable clones of Tokyo Marui designs. Today they also produce replicas rebranded for other companies. It's fair to say that Syma guns are often recommended as the best bang for buck. Perhaps Syma's greatest early innovation to the airsoft world was making the AEG a mass market item. 2001 G&G armament. Although G&G was founded already in 1986, they substantially broadened the airsoft business in 2001 by launching the G&G armament. Especially popular brand in Finland, as they have made an airsoft version of the Finnish assault rifle RK95. It's like the AK of the good guys.
I think between 2007 and 2009 is when polymer was really introduced into airsoft with the G&G combat machine line.
Yes, the G&G combat machine line. But you know that if you drop that, it ain't gonna break.
Before the combat machine line came out, again, there's only metal and plastic. And the plastic, this cheap ABS plastic.
2003, snipers with the cylinder support ring technology. The Marui VSR-10 inspired by the Remington M700 rifle family. Before this, pulling the bolt required some strength. The new cylinder support ring technology made this lighter. The VSR-10 is also extremely popular sniper to customize. 2003, the previously mentioned professional training weapon by Systema. Its first prototypes were presented at SHOT Show 2003. Systema's PTW became the gold standard for professional grade airsoft guns.
So Systema PTV Supermax Edition. You can actually change velocity of the BBs by changing cylinder like this. This is 130 meters per second, and red one, this is 150. You can change a lot of real steel parts right to the gun. Anyway, this is like the best gun that I have ever had.
2004, the HI-CAPA. Some background. We all know the Colt M1911 by John Browning, the main US service pistol from World War I to the 1980s. Since then, custom gunsmiths have been tweaking the 1911 concept for competition with double-stacked magazine, thus the modern 2011 was formed, the top choice among competition shooters. Marui launched in 2004 the HI-CAPA, also a modernized airsoft version of the 1911, and it's been huge ever since. The most iconic pistol in airsoft, especially in Speedsoft and Action Air. The shiny gold match was released in 2015. With endless upgrade options, die-hard fans of the HI-CAPA cult stick to the OG Marui. Or then you can just build one entirely from parts. The HI-CAPA hype is not over, as during the past year at MOA 2024 we have seen 2 new and totally TM-compatible HI-CAPA releases from both Arcturus and LCT. Some honorable mentions about HI-CAPA aftermarket part brands. Airsoft Masterpiece. Huge impact on airsoft practical shooting scheme. They set a new standard for aftermarket fit and finish. They made it feasible for any player to build an IPSC-worthy pistol on a Marui HI-CAPA base, where reliability is critical. Combine Airsoft Masterpiece and Guns Modify and you get the Edge brand, launched in the late 2010s. It's the premium tuning division of the HI-CAPA world. Aggressive weight reduction of moving parts became a goal, meaning faster blowback and less gas used per shot. CTM TAC founded in 2019, the rising star in the HI-CAPA tuning scheme. During the past 2 years we have seen the flatline and superline split slide kits. Very cost-effective package for upgrading. The US-based LA Airsoft is the company behind the brands LA Innovations and LA CAPA Customs, the best HI-CAPA company in 2022 and 23. They made the first flat bucking for HI-CAPAs and blowback housings without the risk of hammer snagging.
Use our turbo blowback unit because of the ramp that's at the bottom of the blowback unit to allow your hammer not to get caught halfway up due to the design of the blowback unit. So cuts right here where you can actually insert a set screw to adjust the trigger bar pre-travel of your trigger. So an actually new feature that's never been done before. And
Dr. Black from Taiwan makes probably the best looking externals. Their manufacturing tolerance is a 0.02 mm tight fit, virtually eliminating any side wobble. Leilax 2001, Japan. Upgrade parts from AEGs to GBBs under the names Prometheus, First Factory and 9Ball. The winner of the Best Parts Maker award for multiple times. And totally wild ways to customize the HI-CAPA. 2004, the automatic electric pistol AEP, another TM innovation. Gameplay wise, these are horrible toys, in my opinion, a total waste of money. Technology wise, the real innovation here is the very compact gearbox, paving way for the compact electric guns of the future. 2004, VFC, Megaforce Company, a premium manufacturer running their own design and production facilities in Taiwan.
After the materials have been received, they then go to quality control. Quality control then checks to make sure the parts are of good quality and to the correct specifications. After passing quality control, some parts are then sent to be laser engraved.
This room is where a lot of sub-assembly is done.
Each station in the subassembly line is a different part of an AEG.
King Arms, founded in 2004 in Hong Kong, and since 2015 their HQ has been in Taiwan. Their strength has been identifying gaps in the market and filling them with exotic old-school replicas.
Other than the popular M4 and the AK series, we do produce something which is less well known. For example, the Galil series, the Fault, and the L1A1. We're gonna do something special. As you can see, this is the gold and silver version of the Thompson's. This is 23K gold plate, and this is chrome. We are officially acquiring the license from Open Arms Germany and CAA from Israel.
King Arms use a well-oiled and well-equipped assembly line to assemble things in high quality. Their efficiency of production also means they make things in vast quantities so they can meet demand. Every single gun that comes through this line is tested on the spot for quality control.
After China joined the World Trade Organization in 2001, manufacturing across all industries surged, and airsoft was no exception. Around 2005 to 2008, the rise of Chinese AEGs. Finnish Softaja editorial wrote how these budget AEGs were rapidly hitting stores, including in Finland. With trade barriers lifted, it became cheaper and easier to export airsoft guns worldwide. The early Chinese brands copied existing designs, like the Tokyo Marui AEGs, leading to a flood of clone replicas. The clone revolution. This changed airsoft forever. Competition drove better quality control, and brands like Systema became highly reliable. More powerful lithium-based batteries entered airsoft around mid-2000s. Difficult to pinpoint any exact year. By 2006, Finnish airsoft forums, Lega Airsoft, were already discussing LiPo batteries, and in the following years they gradually became more widespread. Now lithium-based is the go-to choice, especially in cold weather, where they outperform older battery types.
The LiPolys are beneficial because you can have a very, very strong power source in a very small package. This thing has 11.1 volts, and look how much smaller it is than the 10.8. So you can have a high rate of fire in a small package. So that's why there's a big shift in the airsoft market towards LiPoly batteries, and this particular battery has to go.
With LiPo batteries came the need for MOSFETs, let's say from around 2006 onwards. When using a higher powered battery without a MOSFET, the electrical switches in EAG triggers wear out due to sparking. A MOSFET minimizes the resistance. Finnish Softaja journal had an article about MOSFETs spreading. The most basic MOSFET only bypasses the mechanical switch. In the beginning, MOSFETs were simple homemade devices, and the early commercial drop-ins were not reliable. Nowadays, an ETU, electronic trigger unit, goes beyond a MOSFET. It additionally offers programmability, custom fire modes, adjustable trigger sensitivity, and nowadays even app-based performance monitoring in some models.
It means that gun will shoot when I pull the trigger and shoot when I release. So it's for a fast response and speed airsoft. It means this.
Among Japanese manufacturers, Systema was the first bright star with their electronic switches. A US-based company, Extreme Fire, led the revolution and became one of the early industry standards. Their early products included the SW computer and the later higher-powered version, the SW Evolution. It also improved trigger response and basic rate of fire control. Gate Electronics was founded by Marcin Menet in 2009. The first Gate products actually appeared already in 2008. One example of their innovation is Gate's world-first implementation of optical sensors to detect trigger position. The most important product for Gate was the Titan system, and later Titan II and Aster II units which were the first only ETUs in the world designed to work both AEGs and HPAs.
So recently we got the Gate Titan ETU MOSFET system. One of the best features of this computerized MOSFET is that it can do things like gun diagnostics. So if your gun somehow is not working or going down or not working properly, the ETU will be able to give you error codes and things like that to tell you like, hey, this is not working or that's not working or this component's not working. So
Tactiker is Gate's advanced trigger resistance mechanism, replicating the feel and functionality of real firearm triggers. Cheftron, founded in 2011, Czech Republic. Their first products were MOSFETs and active brakes. Philip Nemec from Cheftron developed the first Bluetooth-operated ETU and the real feel trigger system. The game changer was the V2 processor unit in 2015 when Cheftron opened to the whole world. Perun Airsoft, founded in 2016, Poland. Their MOSFETs are known for their reliability and making products also for niche replicas like the Chris Vector, Steyr AUG and P90, because not everybody wants to rock M4s and AKs. Perun has improved the realistic trigger feel with their clickers. They started with front-wired drop-in MOSFET chips for the V2 gearbox, then came MOSFETs with inline active brakes and replacement MOSFETs for the G&G ETU board.
Another function is active braking. We will not have double shots in the semi. Next is pre-cocking function, that is the pre-tensioning of the spring, which ensures a faster response to the trigger. Another function is to set the trigger sensitivity for both modes separately.
In the next part of the documentary, we will continue from the year 2007. For example, how Airsoft started becoming more environmentally friendly with bio-BB regulations. Did you know that the first truly biodegradable BBs are a Finnish innovation?
Terra BB has developed the true biodegradable precision BBs. Terra BBs are made of mineral powder and biodegradable polymer that decomposes at half the temperature of traditional PLA bio BBs.
Terra BB decomposes at 30 degrees Celsius, whereas PLA decomposes at 60 degrees Celsius, and this is a huge improvement.
And when our BB decomposes into nature, it leaves only CO2, water and natural minerals to the ground. We are excited to show to Airsoft industry this new product which solves the microplastic problem we have with Airsoft BBs nowadays.
Thank you for watching. In the near future, part 2 will review Airsoft history up to year 2025. There are many innovations and interesting brands we were unfortunately not able to include due to time constraints. Tracing Airsoft history accurately is surprisingly challenging, especially getting the years right, since there is the difference between when a product was first announced, when it was released, and then when it actually saw widespread use. Sadly, many great sources like Arnie's Airsoft and LiPo Airsoft websites are no longer online. Those used to be like the best sources for facts of Airsoft history. Have a nice summer and see you in the Airsoft field.
Lähtee pohtaamaan johonkin.